So service, the problem that we have often, we connect, probably how many of you in this hall actually go out to serve with willingness, with love? Can you raise your hands? Don't be forced. Be very sincere in your hearts. Okay? Not all of you seem to like to go out for service. You know why? Simply because I talk about three selves, okay? The first self is self with self. The moment we begin to compare with others and compete with others, we are not ourselves. If today the NSS organizers tell you that please welcome for a gala party, and you can dress in the most fancy dress that you would like to, you know, the first thing you go to think is, what is my friend going to dress like? I have to be at least better than him or her, or at least same. See, that thought already arises in you. And if that thought arises in you, that means you are not living your life, you're comparing yourself with others. Now my advice for you here, to be self-connected, self with self, is to be mindful. Try to be yourself. Don't try to be others. Look at Mahatma Gandhi. He had mission statements that he woke up every morning and said, I will stand firm on my beliefs. I will defeat untruth with truth. These were some of the mission statements he made every morning in his life. You know, look at Einstein. He said, let all the science merge into me. He never competed anybody. And if you go back into the history of these great people, they were, in fact, Einstein, if he was living today, he would never be allowed to come to IIT Kharagpur. So you are much bigger than Einstein. Why don't you think that way? And create a connection first with yourself. Spiritually, being yourself, not living in the past, not living in the future. Past is dead and gone. Future is yet to come. If you don't live now, you'll never see the future again. Because what you do today, you're creating, you're engineering inwardly and outwardly, both ways. You're engineering yourself to be somebody else, not yourself. But I promise you, the moment you connect with yourself, you're going to be bigger, greater leaders in your lives. The second connect is self with others. I'm sure many of you sitting here, maybe your friends around, but you would not know everybody around. You know, connection with others is so important. We need to know others. Unless we know first thing ourselves, we'll never know others. This is yet another problem. What happens here? Then the voice of judgment begins to kick into us and we begin to compete very strongly. And competition is not a good idea. Be compassionate. When you're compassionate onto yourself, then you become a greater human being. We talk about the Maslow's hierarchical order. But self-actualization, I tell you, my friends, what after that? You're going to be self-actualized, so what? Not beyond that. But the moment you connect with yourself and be yourself all the moment, you'll know others better. Now, serving outside from your own spaces gives you a lot of great things. If you compare your peers with yourself, who you've been serving with dedication and love, you'll realize that you are much happier, that you will live longer, and even you will be less sick because you have created immunities better than them. So serving others is a beautiful thing. You know, our former Prime Minister of Bhutan defined happiness saying that to be happy is to serve others, to live in harmony with nature, and to realize your human inner potentials. How many of us really dig into ourselves, go inward, and try and find our own spaces inside? How many of us did really do this? We never think that we are here. We never think that we are here for a short period of our lifetime. You know, when you get to my age, you begin to think, what did I do all my life, you know? Now I want to live happier and longer, I'm retired. But I have not managed my time properly. I'm busy Googling myself, trying to defeat others. But you need to live in a win-win situation. You need to have a feeling of abundance. There's enough for everyone out there. Not in the feeling of scarcity. The more I give, the less I have. If you have that feeling, you're not going to grow taller than where you are today. So it's very important for us also to connect self with others. And the third connection is self with the nature. How many of you believe that nature is out there to serve us? Can you raise your hands? Quite few of believe that nature is out there to serve you. But mind you, nature can exist without us, but we cannot exist without nature. You know why? Anciently we are talking about ourselves as Bhagavan. Bhagavan. What is Bhagavan to you? Can you tell some of you? Can you tell me what is Bhagavan? We refer that to somebody up there, God, right? Bhagavan. Bha stands for Bhumi, the earth. Va for Vayu. Okay, that's wind. Ga for Gagan, the sky. And in between was A, before it went to Na, which was Agni, and Neer is water. So Bhagwan is nobody but the 5 elements of the planet Earth, and Bhagwan is in us. That's what we say. Because all those 5 elements that is out there is in us. Do you believe or not? 75% of the body consists of water. Right or wrong? You have grown to this big height and size. How did you grow this? Without food? You ate food. Where did the food come from? Nourished by the earth, the sun, the wind, and the rain, the water. That has given us the growth. So how can you call yourself that this is me? It's not you. You have no right to think that you are you. The first right goes to your mother. You know, women are always higher than us because we are all born from women. Mind you, they are always higher than us. They are not lower than us. In the ecosystem, we need to consider them higher than us. And if you do that, you'll realize 9 months your mom has kept in her womb, suffering every moment, thinking, how will my child be born? When he or she is born, will this child speak? Will this child walk? What will be the future of my child? All this thought for 9 months, she worries. When the child is born, mother worries, will he walk? What will he be in future? Still today, my mom is 104 years, still today, and I'm 60, mid-60s. My mom still worries for me. And if you realize, if you fall sick in this campus, for a moment you are depressed, the first person that will know that you're depressed is your mother back home. Right or wrong? So you need to think differently, and therefore we need to connect ourselves, not only with ourselves, but with others, and as well as with the greater one, that is the nature. Quantum physics proves now that 91% of frog genes are in us. Okay? 70% of banana genes are in us. The fruit fly gene, so small, 46% of genes are in us. The whole world, all plants, all animals, all creatures, all insects, their genes are in all of us. We can self-engineer our genes. I'm sure there are a lot of biology students here. We can self-create our genes. We can change our genes. The 50% of unhappy genes in ourselves, we can nurture them better and we can create them to be happy genes. That's what Sadhguru talks about, inner engineering. And you also need to do your outer engineering as well. Do I have more time to talk?
Yes.
So you see, something I would like to tell you, the moment you get connected with your own self is the moment that you will go greater in your life. You'll have that connection to go out of your own spaces and you will start to think bigger things in life. This is very important for all of us. Okay? So in this process of our life, what do we need to do? The first important thing that we need to do is we need to be proactive. Do you know what it means to be proactive? You need to create circle of influence, number one. Number two, you need to be visionary. You need to have a vision. And on that vision, you need to write your mission statements every day, short-term, long-term, mid-term. different kinds of vision statements, okay? Number 3, you need to be integrative. You need to do things that you say, and you need to say things that you have done. So you need to be very pure in your heart, okay? Very clear. That's called proactive. The moment you become proactive, you win yourself. You have a self-victory. You self-discipline yourself. Simple 3 things. Be proactive. That's number 1. Second thing, I said you be visionary. So have vision in your mind, and don't worry about the vision. Once you have created that vision, put, mission statement. This year I'm going to do this, this, this. Next year I'm going to do this. Maybe overall, in 10 years I'm going to do this. In my end of life, I'm going to do this. So imagine that you're celebrating your 80th birthday in your life. Okay? What is the wish that you want to hear from your children, grandchildren, your neighbors, your friends, including maybe a letter from your Prime Minister? What is that wish you want to hear? That's your vision. Try, go deep inside yourself and find that vision out. Just these 3 things: to be integrated, to have a vision, and to be proactive can create you, can defeat yourself, and you become victorious for yourself, okay? The second thing I would like to tell you is have a public victory. What does that mean? Create win-win situations always in your life. Don't try to make lose-lose situation or win-lose situation or lose-win situation. When does that happen? You create a win-win situation when your courage is high and your consideration is high. When both of these are high, you create a win-win situation. We're not talking about a football game. We're not talking about some game sports that we have to win and someone has to lose. I'm talking about life's game, where you need to create a win-win situation, okay? The second thing is, if you want to create a win-win situation, a public victory, you have to be deep listeners. All leaders in the world, they have ears for even the most smallest kid that can speak. They listen so deeply. And I don't have the time. I could talk to you about 4 kinds of listening, And most of us, we download. Many of you are downloading here. You're not listening to me. You're downloading. You're thinking, oh, this guy's talking this, I know already. So whatever is in your mind, you're downloading. This is the kind of listening we do. And we don't have the power to listen. The moment you listen deeply, you become great leaders. So that's number 1 of public victory. The second one that you can win over public, have a public victory, is you need to collaborate. You need to synergize with others. One of you might be a good guitarist, right? You play good guitar, you have a lot of friends, maybe girls are very fond of you with your guitar. Imagine you join the guitar with a flutist, with a drummist, with a guitar, with a pianist. You create a music higher than your own self, isn't it? That's called synergizing. Okay? That's collaboration. Go for life in collaborative way if you want to have a public victory. The third thing that's very important is the deep listening. Okay? You need to learn to listen before you answer. Many a times it so happens in lectures, when someone starts to speak, the first thing that flows in our mind is, oh, he's talking about this is the question I'm going to ask. So in between the time you formulate your question and when you come back to listening, you miss the point that the guy is speaking about. Okay? When you forget that part, then you're going to ask the question, the same question that you have formulated where you missed in this point of time. So I just want to not end here, but I'm very fond of singing songs. So I want all of you to sing with me, and maybe if time permits, we'll do a hugging meditation, okay? So, here is the line. I'll sing a line, and you just follow me, okay? Okay, let's go. Happiness is here and now. Come. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. And I'm not in a hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Somewhere to go, something to do. But I'm not in a hurry. Thank you so much.